What is going on, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video. Now, in today's video, I'll be looking at the spawns on Raid Hardpoint. So, sort of where are the spawn points that the team can spawn that are either in control of the hill, or if you're not in control of the hill. I'll be sort of showing you all the places that they can spawn, and hopefully this will help you in your games, knowing where you need to pre-aim, where you can expect the enemy to be, and yeah, hopefully it makes your hardpoint game a little bit easier. So I got these from watching a few gameplays back in theatre. I think the 2 or 3 scrim gameplays on Raid Control, looking at both the teams, if you're in control, where you're spawning, if you're not in control of the hill, where you're spawning, and then just sort of wrote them down. And yeah, that's become today's video. Now, one last little thing, the software that I'm using to do this is TAC Maps. It's great software. I've had quite a lot of people commenting on my YouTube channel asking about it, and so if you want to check it out, it's in the Microsoft Store. All you have to do is type TAC Maps, and you'll find it. With that said and done, let's jump straight into it. So starting on P1, there's really only not 2 spawn points, but 2 sort of sides of the map that people spawn. You've either got this side, which is really all of Garage, and also the close front corner of Gym, as well as a little bit out actually here, just behind Yellow Lambo. You can spawn actually in this bit here. That's the main sort of back spawn if it's quite evenly contested in hill. So that's where you can expect to spawn if you're on this side of the map and it's sort of evenly contested in hill. If your team is all pushed up in the hill, so say you've got a lot of control here and you're starting to push up a little bit here, you can also expect to spawn up here. There is another spawn location here. Now, on the other side of things, most of the spawn for this hill, when again it's evenly contested, is actually within jungle. There's a lot of spawns within jungle. That is sort of the primary place that people spawn. If you're being pushed up quite far, you can actually spawn in the far back of the spawn. And again, if you're pushing up quite far, if you've got lots of players contested up in the hill and sort of pushing the enemy back into their spawn this side, then you can actually spawn at the back of laundry as well. So that's pretty much the spawns for P1. So moving on for now, I just want to say the blue arrows will indicate where you're spawning if you're in control of the hill, and the red arrows will indicate where you'll spawn when the other team are in control of the hill. For P1, this doesn't really work because it's quite a heavily contested hill, so you're pretty much spawning either side of the map. So if you're in control of P4 and there's quite a lot of an enemy push towards this side of the map, so sort of up the top, say they are spawning here because there's 2 spots that they can spawn on attack really. I suppose I should probably mention that first. There's either the top sort of P1 side push, or there's the bottom sort of the water side, bottom bedroom side push. Now, depending on where they're spawning also influences where you're spawning. If they're spawning down by the bottom bedroom, your players, assuming you're in control of the hill, will be spawning up sort of jungle laundry side, and then if they're spawning up P1 to push the hill, you'll be more spawning down bottom basketball, or also in the back spawn. Now, these are the only real spawn points I actually found for P2. I did watch a few gameplays back, and these really seem to be the only places that people were spawning. So yeah, this is P2. Moving on to P3, we'll start with where the people that need to attack the hill, so the people that aren't actually in control of the hill, can spawn. Now, they do spawn sometimes by the bedroom bit here, just sort of out the front of bedroom by the bottom of the water steps. They can also spawn in the corner of mid. This is quite a common place to spawn. You do get quite a few spawns there, and also they can spawn by P1 if there's a close push. On the other side of things, if you're actually in control of the hill, quite often you'll be spawning in the back bit by the generator, just sort of in this back area here. But you can also spawn in the close gym. There are a few spawns there, and yeah, that's sort of mainly the spawns for this hill. They're quite close for this one really, and they only really flip and go far once the enemy have taken control, which is why this is quite a nice hill to hold. I did actually also see some spawns that were sort of outer P1 right around the back here, but yeah, that was only really sort of once the hardpoint was actually starting to sort of flip to the other team in control. Moving on to P4 or Basketball Hill. The main place that attackers spawn is the bottom water by the bottom bedroom. Now, this probably accounted for 90% of the spawns that attackers did on this hill, probably even more than that. It's just sort of the bottom bedroom. This is where they seem to spawn, 90% of the time. And then occasionally, I think it was when some enemies pushed up, maybe into Tiki or sort of a bit further up, there were the odd few spawns actually in Zig, in the little mid bit, or the bit that leads up to mid from garage side spawn. But yeah, the majority of the offense spawn for that hill was bottom bedroom. And then for defense, pretty much everything was in the back spawn, this side here. Let me just move these 2 arrows out of the way just to avoid confusion. But most of the defense side spawn was literally just at the top of the basketball stairs, and wasn't really anywhere else. I don't know whether that's just because I only watched a couple gameplays and sort of some spawns that maybe don't happen every game, but there are a few maybe in jungle and sort of back laundry. But from what I found, pretty much every spawn, in fact, if not every spawn, was close to the back there when your team was in control of the hill. Again, I will just mention with all of these, this was from a couple of gameplays that I watched back in theatre, so I'm sure there are some other spawn points that don't happen very frequently but do exist. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm sort of going with the main ones that happen a lot. Now, P5 is a bit of a mess, I'm not going to lie. There was, I think, 5 different spawn points all around the map for teams in control of the hill, and then another 3 or 4 for teams not in control of the hill. I'll quickly run through them all, and a few trends that I did find. So starting on the spawns, if you're in control of the hill, I've put all the ones in where they are. So there's bottom bedroom spawn, there's actually in a basketball spawn, there's back in sort of the jungle bit with the rock, and also back laundry. So there's a lot of places that you can actually spawn for this hill, which is why this hill is actually very hard to predict where the enemy are actually going to push from. Now I've gone in and added the sort of attacking side. So if your team doesn't have control of the hill, where are you sort of expecting to spawn? And as you can see, there's a few crossovers. So back laundry and also the bottom bedroom. Now I think from what I saw for the gameplay, this was generally if your team was spawning at the top laundry side, then the other team would expect to be spawning bottom bedroom. Not 100% of the time. I know the spawns in this game are slightly off, not always perfect. But the general rule that I found is if you're in control of the hill, your team will generally spawn towards this side of the map, and then if you're not in control of the hill, your team will generally spawn towards this side of the map. But again, that's very general, and yeah, I mean P5's a hard one to hold because of this. But yeah, the majority spawn for this side is actually in the back garage. So if you are in P5 and you've got control, make sure that you're watching the Zig and then also the P1 side push, because a good way to play this hill is actually to contest the sort of the P1 ring, try and get on there, and then use that to sort of get a bit of map pressure. But that's it for the spawns on Raid. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like. There'll be spawns for hopefully all of the other maps coming out soon. I'll have to make sure that I've got enough gameplays that I can go through and find them. So then they won't be super quick, but I'm definitely working on them. Also, make sure to check the link in the description. It's to all my Cold War map guides. I've got sniper spots, bomb spots, how to play hardpoint control, S&D on every map. I've got a whole load of stuff there that if you're into competitive Call of Duty, I'm sure you're going to absolutely love. So go check that out, link in the description. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.